check ಮಾಡಿ Okay, my boys, now I am going to give this a second again. The today's once again good morning to all my students, in special to those students who have applied for junior engineers, those who have applied for the junior exams, junior engineering exams of PWD. Today, the second after having completed the surveying. After having completed the surveying, now I am going to take up the next important topic for junior engineers, for those appearing for junior engineers, which they call it as a transportation engineering. The transportation engineering for AE and JE. Why written AE and JE? So these transportation engineering questions are also being asked for assistant engineers also. For assistant engineers also. Understand or not? For taking exams. There are some students who are taking both exams. They have also applied for from diploma, they have applied for JE post, and from B after diploma they have completed B, and they have also applied for assistant engineer. Some students have applied for both JE and AE, and this particular video will be for both appearing for AE and JE only. Understand? Okay, let's start. Okay, now this is a transportation engineering topic. My boys, I think not necessary to tell here. This transportation engineering questions, objective type questions, are always much more helpful, because this transportation engineering subject topic is going to cover the much, I think about 40% of your syllabus. In the question number technical question number 2, the 40% of the syllabus, 40% of the questions, I repeat, the 40% of the questions are going to come from this transportation engineering only. I repeat, for both AE and also for JE people or JE exams. Understand or not? That's why give more importance for this transportation engineering. Okay, as I know that, because I read all your question papers, last 5-6 question papers I read, and I could able to get the important objective type questions from the transportation engineering. It will be helpful for both junior engineers and also for the assistant engineers. It is also useful for the both assistant engineer, the aspiring assistant engineers, and also aspiring junior engineering examination under the PWD. Understand or not? So let us start with this, because transportation, I think you have studied, you have seen the first video which I have done on the transportation engineering. One topic I have covered. There I have given you all introduction about the transport engineering, highway engineering, all these particular topic I have covered. Understand or not? But even though I have not covered, I am going to give you each, because I am expert in this transport. My specialization is transportation engineering. Understand or not? I got total teaching experience of about 36 years. 36 years of teaching experience. For this whole period of 36 years or so, I have taught the transportation engineering, and my specialization is MTech transportation engineering. Understand or not? MTech transportation engineering from NIT, National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. So means it is not that I am not praising for myself. Understand? So means what I want to say finally, I am very expert in the transport engineering subject. Understand or not? As I got the huge experience of teaching and very expert in the transport. You can ask any questions, any corner, from any angle, any questions from any angle in this particular subject called as the transportation engineering. Okay, let's go to the here I am going to explain you. My boys, don't be very much scared or afraid of sir only objective type. See, my questions, my questions and answers is not only just telling the right answer for the question, but at the same time I am going to tell you, take it from me, the right answer, why it is the right answer. Side by side I am going to give you the concept of the subject, why this is the right answer, why this is the right answer. Example, in this particular first question, why the answer number D is the right answer. Example, I am telling you, in the transport engineering question number 1, the answer D is the right answer. Example, I am telling you, why the D is the right answer, why not A, B, C, why D is the only right answer. So with that particular thing I am going to explain you, with means I am going to give you the whole concept of transport engineering, so that if any questions being asked other than this, other than this, in this particular line, in this particular subject or in this particular line, you should be able to answer. Okay. Let's go to the things. Sir, off by 3. Record ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಈಗ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ರೀ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಸೌಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. Sorry my boys, there is some interruption in the software and all. I am going to start. Okay, there is some interruption. I am going to start the topic. Okay my boys, the first question under the transport engineering for both assistant engineers and junior engineers exams. I repeat, the first question which is likely to be asked. I have taken about 100 questions, 100 objective type questions under transportation engineering, which is going to help for both assistant engineers as well as junior engineers exams. AE and JE exams are paid already. Try to concentrate on the subject. My first question under the transport engineering for both is, look here, the first question is Nagpur road plan formulae. Nagpur road plan formulae were prepared by assuming. Nagpur road plan formulae were prepared by assuming. One, and there are 4 answers my boys. One is rectangular or block road pattern. Second is radial or star and block road pattern. Third is radial or star and circular road pattern. Then last one is D, radial or star and grid road pattern. Understand or not? My boys, Nagpur road plan is the first plan. It is the first 20-year road plan. It is a Nagpur road plan is the first 20-year plan. There they have given 5 different formulae to calculate the different length of the road, such as national highways, state highways, major district road, other district road and village road. They have also given you the road pattern. The road pattern should be of this nature. The answer number 4, just now I told you, the answer is D, radial or star and the grid road pattern. They are the road pattern which are adopted in the Nagpur road plan. I repeat once again, radial or star and grid pattern road system is used in the Nagpur road plan formulae. Nagpur road plan formulae. Nagpur road plan formulae were based on the pattern of last one, D, radial or star and grid road pattern. Okay, okay. There are 4. Again, the answers are there again. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all the different road patterns, my boys. They are the different road patterns. Now he is asking which pattern is being used in the Nagpur road plan formula. That answer number D is the right answer, which is called as the radial or star and the grid pattern is used in the Nagpur road plan formula. Coming to the next. Sir, ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ರಿ ಇದು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಇದು ಬಂದಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಂ, ಈಗ ಇದು ಹಾಂ ಹೋತಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ರೀ, ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋತಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಂ ಬತ್ತು. ಹಾಂ, ನಾವು ಸಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇಂಟ್ರಪ್ಷನ್. ಹಾಂ, now coming to the second question. Now second question, Nagpur road plan formulae take into account the towns with very large number of population. Understand or not? So now Nagpur road plan formulae, again question is very simple, try to read. Nagpur road plan formulae take into account the towns with large population. Understand or not? So now again there are 4. Now there are 4 answers are there. You know question. Okay, 4 statements are there. 4 statements are there. Among the 4, which is the right statement? See, there are 4 statements given, A, B, C, D. Understand or not? Among the 4, which statement is right? Which statement is the correct statement? So I read the 4 statements. Okay, 4 statements. Nagpur road plan formulae takes into account the the towns with a large population. Second, the Nagpur road plan has a target road length of 32 kilometers per 100 square kilometer. Third is a second 20-year plan has provided 1,600 kilometer expressways out of the proposed national highway, and the last answer is a second 20-year road development plan has the railway length of how much railway track length of area which is calculated based on the length of the road. My boys, among the four statements, the right answer is answer number C. Answer number C. What is that answer? Why the right answer is C? The second 20-year road plan has provided. If you look into the second 20-year plan, the second 20-year plan, which is called as a Bombay Road Plan. Again, the Bombay Road Plan has the plan formulae having the second 20-year road plan has provided. It has provided that second 20-year road plan has provided added 1,600 kilometer of expressway. So it has added a 1,600 kilometer of expressway out of the proposed national highways. So again, national highways are also there, state highways are there, major district roads are there, other district road, village roads, everything is there. But in addition to these 5 roads, then the second 20-year plan has added 1,600 kilometer of expressway. 1,600 kilometer of expressways. Okay, the answer is right answer is C. That is the correct statement among the 4 is the second 20-year plan has provided 1,600 kilometer of expressways out of the proposed national highways. Okay, coming next, third, the sequence of the 4 stages of the survey in a highway alignment. Understand or not? So there are 4 type of surveys, my boys. Engineering surveys they call it as. There are 4 types of surveys which are being done for the highway alignment. For the highway alignment, they are also called as 4 stages of surveys. 4 stages of surveys for the highway alignment. So again, there are 4 surveys are being given. One is again 4 are there again, which is the correct sequence. Which is the correct sequence. Again, the first sequence is reconnaissance survey, map study, preliminary survey and the detailed survey. First one. Second is map study, preliminary survey, reconnaissance surveys and a detailed survey. The third is map study, reconnaissance surveys, preliminary survey and detailed survey. And the last one, preliminary survey and map study and the reconnaissance surveys and detailed survey. My boys, answer is third answer. The C is the right answer. The different stages of the surveying are the sequential order of the surveying. Engineering surveys are, again I repeat once again, they are first is a map study, second is a reconnaissance survey, third is a preliminary survey and the last one is the detailed surveys. They are all in the sequential order. The 4 stages, the first stage is a map study, second stage is a reconnaissance survey, third stage is a preliminary survey and the last one is a detailed survey. And the answer number C is the right answer. The sequence of the 4 stages of the survey in a highway alignment is map study, reconnaissance survey, preliminary survey and detailed surveys. Okay, my boys, going to the next one, the 4th answer. So the shape of the camber best suited for cement concrete pavement. So my boys, again once again I am telling you what is the camber. Understand or not? The camber is a transverse slope given to the pavement surface. It is the transverse slope given in the transverse direction of the pavement or a road. The shape of the camber, what is the shape of that camber? The shape of that camber best suited for cement concrete road, cement concrete pavement is one. For the 4 type of the camber he has given: straight line camber, parabolic camber, elliptical camber, and the 4th one is combination of straight and parabolic. The answer here is a parabolic camber. The parabolic camber is the shape of the camber best suited for cement concrete road, cement concrete pavement. Answer is B, parabolic camber. Parabolic camber is the shape of the camber best suited for cement concrete pavement. The right answer is B. Coming to the next. For waterborne macadam roads, I think you will be studied already WBM roads. There are waterborne macadam roads are usually called as WBM roads. WPM roads are the water-borne mechanism roads in localities of heavy rainfall. In very heavy rainfall areas, the recommended value of camber, what is the slope of the transfer slope? What is the transfer slope of the road, or what is the camber? What is the value of the camber? So the answer, the question is now, for a water-borne macadam road or for a WPM road in the locality of heavy rainfall, the recommended value of camber is the recommended value of camber is, what is the value of that transfer slope is asking for that WPM road in a heavy rainfall area. 4 answers are there, my boys. The answer is 1 in 30, 1 in 36, 1 in 48, 1 in 60. My boys, right answer is B, 1 in 36. 1 in 36 is the slope which is given in the transfer direction to the pavement of the cement concrete road where it is being adopted or where it is being used in heavy rainfall area. The cross slope or the camber value is 1 in 36 for that WPM road in a localities of heavy rainfall area. The recommended value of the camber is 1 in 36. Answer number B. Coming to the next, my boys. The stopping side distance depends upon, I think before I go to tell you about that, the definition of the stopping side distance. I tell you what, don't worry about it. The stopping side distance is the distance travelled by the minimum, the stopping side distance is the minimum distance required by the driver to stop his vehicle to dead stop after visualizing the object. Definition of the stopping side distance or SSD. Katna, the minimum distance is required for the driver to stop his vehicle after seeing the object. Understand or not? Now he is asking the stopping side distance depends upon. The stopping side distance depends upon. Again, what are they? 4 answers are there. Total reaction time of the driver. Second is speed of the vehicle, efficiency of the brake, and that answer, fourth number answer D is all of the above. My boys, answer is D, last one, all of the above. Mean the stopping side distance in the answer. Now I am going to tag up the question with answer. The stopping side distance depends upon total reaction of the driver, also speed of the vehicle, also efficiency of the brakes, also means the stopping side distance depends upon all the 3 parameters. All the 3 parameters: A, total reaction time of the driver, speed of the vehicle, and also efficiency of the brake. So the answer is all of the above. All of the above. So as I told you, SSD is depending upon all of the above. The answer D is D. That is, it depends upon total reaction time of the driver, speed of the vehicle, efficiency of the brake. Next, go to the next. When the path travelled along the road surface is more than a circumferential movement of the wheels due to rotation. You can understand that? Circumferential rotation, wheel, correct or not? The wheel is there, circumferential rotation. One, if it makes one rotation, that is called as a one rotation of the wheel. That is circumferential rotation, correct or not? When the path travelled along the road surface is more than a one circumferential movement of the wheel due to the rotation, that it results in what? That it results in what? So again 4 answers are there. One is known as slipping, second is known as skidding, third is known as the turning, and fourth is known as the revolving. Understand or not? If the vehicle, I am telling you, answer is B, skid. The vehicle will become, that is, the path travelled along the road surface is more than the circumferential movement of the wheel, then due to the rotation, then the vehicle is going to skid, correct or not? The vehicle is going to skid when the path travelled along the road surface is more than the circumferential movement of the wheels due to the rotation. Answer is B, the skidding, correct or not? It is skidding. Go to the next. Coefficient of friction is less when the pavement surface is, correct or not? The friction for a particular road, any particular road, friction is always important, correct or not? The friction is known as the coefficient of friction, longitudinal friction, transverse friction, all these are the things. Again friction depends, friction is inversely proportional to the speed, correct or not? Friction is inversely proportional to higher the friction, lower the speed, and vice versa, understand or not? So the coefficient of friction is less when the pavement surface, when this friction, the happening of the coefficient of friction or this friction produced is less when the pavement surface is, when again the 4 answers are there, rough, So, answer 1 is rough, second is dry, third is smooth and dry, and the answer is D, smooth and wet. Okay, always the coefficient of friction is always less for that surface, which is answer is a D, the smooth. When the surface of the road, surface of the pavement is very smooth and wet during rainy season. During rainy season, when the pavement surface becomes wet, then when it becomes very smoother road, when the smoother road is there and also wet road is there, then the coefficient of friction will be always less. Answer is that, correct or not? The coefficient of friction is less when the pavement surface is, answer is a D, when it is smooth and wet. Okay, my boys, I think understood. Next, the shoulder provided along the road edge, the shoulder, you know what is road, shoulder and all, you know that, understood or not? The road, the surface, the hard paved surface provided, the paved surface provided next to the immediately end of the road surface is known as the shoulder. The shoulders are provided on both the ends, understand or not? Shoulder is that portion of the road, which is meant for a pedestrian movement. Actually, it is not, shoulder is not for the pedestrian way is different again. Shoulder is an extra width being provided on both sides of the roadway or both sides of the pavement or the road. Now, what is the question now? The shoulder provided along the road edge, should be, understand, 4 statements are there. The whatever the shoulder you are provided along the road edge of the road should be, how it should be. Again, there are 4: rougher than the traffic lane, smoother than the traffic lane, of same color as of the pavement, of very low road, of very low load bearing capacity. My boys, the answer is 1, first answer A, rougher than the traffic load. You must have observed also along the road surface there is a shoulder provided on both sides. Immediately after the edge of the road, both sides shoulders are. The shoulder surface will be always rough. That is the answer. It is always rougher than the traffic lane. It is always rougher than the main road or main pavement. The shoulder provided along the road edge should be, the answer number 1 is, that is A, it is rougher than the traffic lane. Coming to the next, camber in the road is provided. Camber in the road is provided. I already told you these are the transverse slope. I repeat the question. I am going to tell the concept of the camber. Cambers are the transverse slope provided in the transverse direction of the pavement to drain off the rainwater. Cambers are the transverse slope provided along provided in the transverse direction of the pavement, understand or not? And that is to drain off the rainwater. During rainwater, these cambers will help in draining of the rainwater. The question, that is the question they are asked. Camber in the road is provided for 1, effective drainage, B, counteracting the centrifugal force, C, having proper sight distance, D, none of the above. Which is the right answer, my boys? The right answer is A, effective drainage. Just now I told you the camber is that particular slope provided in the transverse direction, or it is a transverse slope always provided in the transverse direction of the road, which is always provided to drain off the rainwater, the effective drainage. Answer A is correct answer, effective drainage. Coming next, compared to the next question, compared to level surface on a descending gradient, I think you are descending gradient, the stopping tide distance is, my boys, I think gradient I have to define now. Okay, gradient. What is the gradient? Okay, gradient is, it is the cross section, correct? It is the cross section given to the thing. See, okay, the rate of rise or fall given to the center line of the road is known as the gradient. I repeat the question now. I repeat the answer. The gradient means, before going to the answer, the gradient is the rate of rise or fall given to the center line of the road is known as the gradient. Understand or not? Now, if you ask me once again elaboration of this question, if the center line rises in the direction of the movement of the road is known as a rising gradient. Same way, if the direction of the line, if the center line falls in the direction of the movement of the vehicle, then that is known as a falling gradient. Therefore, there are two gradients, one is known as a rising gradient, another is known as a falling gradient. I already defined use the gradient. Gradient is nothing but it is a rate of rise or fall given to the central line of the road. Understand or not? Okay. Now, my boys, I think answer, before telling the answer for the question, always when you are going on the uphill, up gradient or the rising gradient, then the stopping side distance, the distance required by the driver to stop the vehicle required will be always lesser, because the grade it is the ground is already rising, but more stopping side distance is required when in the descending gradient. When you are going in the descending gradient or the falling gradient, the stopping side distance required will be more. Understand or not? There is a question asked here. Compared to the level surface, on a descending gradient or a falling gradient, the stopping side distance is, 4 answers are there. The stopping side distance is, 1 is less, second is more, third is same, fourth depends on the speed. Tell me the right answer. Just now I told the things. What is the right answer? Right answer is more. Means more stopping side distance is required on a descending gradient. More stopping side distance is required on a descending gradient. I will tag up the question with answer. Compared to the level surface on a descending gradient or a falling gradient, the stopping side distance required is, answer is B, that is more. More stopping side distance is required. Answer is B, more. Next, we will go to the next. I think you are all understanding it. I am not going very fast also, but I am very slow also, I think, in fact. No problem. Anyhow, I want you to understand the concept. Okay. Any questions, whenever there are any different questions which are being posed in this direction, highways, transport engineering, you should be able to answer. Only the teacher's duty is not to give the right answer for that particular question, but at the same time, he should know, he should tell why this is the right answer. You should give the subject, you should give the concept of the subject, so that the students, any particular questions comes in this particular pattern should be answered. Understand or not? That's why I am not only giving the right answer for the questions, objective type question, but at the same time I am telling you, elaborately I am telling you, or comprehensively I am telling you why this particular answer is the right answer. Okay, that is my vision, that is my concern about you people. Okay, let's go to the next question, my boys. On a single lane road with a two-way traffic, the minimum stopping side distance is equal to, I think, again I have to come back to the subject, this one, single lane road, two lane road, three lane road, four lane road, understand or not? You should always say the single lane will be 3.75 meter, the two lane will be 7.5 meter, 3 lane will be 15.5 meter, then 4 lane will be how much? 30 meter, understand or not? But if you ask me what is the width of the single lane, in the multiple road complex, multiple road, where is the multiple road? Single lane expressway, if you ask me, there is a 3+3 lanes between Mumbai and Pune, there is a expressway where 3 lane in one direction, 3 lane in another direction, 3+3, 6 lanes are there. Then if you ask me what is the width of the each lane, if you ask me, the width of the each lane is 3.5 meter, each lane will be 3.5 meter. Okay. Now question now, on a single lane road with a two-way traffic, try to understand, with a single lane road with a two-way traffic, the traffic will be in both the direction. In a single lane road with a two-way traffic, the minimum stopping side distance is equal to, what exactly, my boys? It is, answer is 4, I am going to tell the answer. One is stopping side distance, 2 times the stopping side distance, half the stopping side distance, and 3 times the stopping. My boys, it is, the answer is B, 2 times the stopping side distance. How exactly? You see that the single lane road, both the vehicles are going in a opposite direction. One vehicle is going in one direction, another vehicle is moving in the opposite direction. Both are going in that thing. Then, if both vehicles will have to stop at this point, then one stopping side distance is required for one vehicle, another stopping side distance is required for the oncoming vehicle or the opposite coming vehicle. So, means the stopping side distance required in a single lane road having the two-way traffic will be 2 times the stopping side distance. One stopping side distance here, another stopping side distance for the another direction, it will be 2 times. Answer is this, on a single lane road with a with a road with a two-way traffic, the minimum stopping side distance is equal to, answer is B, it is 2 times the stopping side distance. How high it is 2 times? I just now told you. It is 2 times the stopping side distance. Coming next, the desirable length of overtaking zone as per IRC recommendations is equal to. Now again I have to tell you what is overtaking side distance. I defined that. Just now I told you stopping side distance. Now I am going to define you the overtaking side distance definition. Leaving aside the question and the answer, I will tell you now. What is the overtaking side distance? Overtaking side distance is a distance required by the slow moving vehicle to overtake. So I repeat, okay. I will just define it a very precise way. The overtaking side distance is a distance required by the fast moving vehicle to overtake the slow moving vehicle without colliding the vehicle coming from the opposite direction. That the distance required, I repeat once again, the distance required by the fast moving vehicle to overtake the slow moving vehicle without colliding the vehicle coming from the opposite direction. This distance, that is OSD equal to small d1, small d2, small d3. So this distance is a distance required by the driver or required by the fast moving vehicle to overtake the slow moving vehicle. At the same time, that particular vehicle which has been overtaken should not collide with the vehicle coming from the opposite direction. That is what exactly. Now he is asking the question, the desirable length of the overtaking zone, what is the length, minimum length, that length of the overtaking zone. The desirable length of the overtaking zone as per IRC, Indian Road Congress recommendation is equal to, understand or not? Look at desirable. So now I am telling you now, OSD is OSD, understand, OSD equal to D1 plus D2, say about whatever that. Then the minimum length, recommended value, the desirable minimum length is OSD is whatever is being provided. Therefore, the desirable length, he is asking about the desirable length. Desirable length of the overtaking zone is, as per the IRC, is last answer is D, 5 times of overtaking distance. So there is also answer C is there 3 times. Okay, that is the provided the minimum overtaking distance, minimum safe overtaking side distance. I use the word, the safe overtaking distance provided on the road will be 3 times the OSD, and the desirable overtaking side distance is always, the right answer is fourth one, that is 5 times the overtaking side distance. Therefore, answer I will tag up with something, the desirable length of the overtaking zone as per the Indian Road Congress or as per IRC recommendation is equal to answer number D, it is 5 times the overtaking side distance. It is 5 times the overtaking distance. Coming next, stopping side distance is always SST, right or not? I told you. What is that? 4 answers are there. It is less than overtaking side distance, more than overtaking side distance, more than overtaking side distance. Then D is none of the above. My boys, stopping side distance, answer is A. It is stopping side distance is always less than overtaking side distance. No doubt in that. Stopping answer is A. Stopping side distance is overtaking side distance is always more. Understand or not? More than the stopping side distance. Therefore, answer is stopping side distance is always, answer is A. It is always less than overtaking side distance. Coming next, reaction time of the driver. Understand or not? Reaction time of the driver. So, reaction time of the driver according to IRC, it is equal to T equal to 2.5 seconds for the stopping side distance, 2.0 seconds for the overtaking side distance. It is what the Indian Standard Congress says. Okay. Now, what is asking question? Reaction time of the driver, 4 answers are there. Increase with the increase in speed, decrease with the increase in speed, then is same for all speed, none of the above. My answer is, okay, reaction to the driver always decrease with the increase in speed. Understand or not? When the fellow is going very at high speed, then driver requires less reaction time. Understand or not? Because that's why I know 2.5 and 2 seconds. 2 seconds, because when the rate of change of velocity, and the rate of change of velocity is acceleration. The fast moving vehicle will accelerate and overtake the slow moving vehicle. That's why the reaction time of the driver will be it is always decreasing with increase in speed. When the speed is increasing, the reaction time of the driver is decreasing. the reaction time of the driver is decreased. So, question, I will tag up with the question, reaction time of the driver decrease, answer is B, reaction time of the driver is B, which is which decreases with increase in speed, answer is B, the reaction time of the driver decreases with increase in speed, B is the right answer. Coming to text. If the stopping side distance is 60 meter, then the minimum stopping side distance for two-way traffic is, I tell you again, my boys, if the stopping side distance is 60 meter given, is already given, if the stopping side distance is 60 meter, then the minimum stopping side distance for a two-way road, my boys, previously I told you, it is a single lane two-way road, now it is two-way road, it is a two-way road, it is a two-lane is there, two-way road is there. Then the stopping side, minimum stopping side distance is how much? Only 60 meter. The stopping side distance is 60 meter, then given. Then what is the minimum stopping side? It is 60 meter, because already it is a two-lane road, correct or not? The two-lane road for the two-way traffic. If it is the case for a two-way traffic, the stopping side distance is only 60 meter, what is been given, then the minimum stopping side distance also 60 meter only. Okay, it is 60 meter only, understand or not? Okay. If the stopping side distance is 60 meter, then the minimum stopping side distance, what is the minimum stopping for two-way traffic is, again it is 60 meter only, 60 meter is given and minimum stopping side distance also 60, answer is B, 60 meter. Next, the effect of grade on the safe overtaking side distance, the effect of the grade, I think already grade or gradient both are the word and the same word, grade are the effect of the gradient, effect of the grade on safe overtaking side distance is, understand or not? 4 answers are there, my boys. I am going to read. To increase it on a descending gradient and to decrease it on a ascending gradient. Okay, to increase it on a descending gradient and to decrease it on a ascending gradient. B, to increase it on a descending gradient and to increase it on a both descending gradient. Then third is to increase it on both descending and ascending gradient. To increase, and last one is to increase it on both descending and ascending gradient. Answer is C, my boy. The effect of the gradient for the safe overtaking side distance will be always to you should always you increase it on both ascending gradient. Understand or not? Whatever the gradient given in the ascending slope and the descending slope or ascending gradient descending, you should be always you increase it. Understand or not? The slope on both sides, both descending and ascending gradient should be always increased, whenever the safe overtaking side distance is being calculated. The answer is, I club the answer with a question, to increase the effect of the grade on safe, the effect of the gradient on safe overtaking side distance is answer is C, to increase it on, the effect will be, it will always increase it on both descending and ascending gradient. So, it will have effect on both ascending and descending gradient, the effect will be on both. So, the safe overtaking side depends on the effect of providing both increase in ascending and descending gradient, it is increasing both side. Coming to the next. Now, the ruling design speed on a national highway in a plain terrain, as per IRC recommendation. So, my boys, again there are 4 different type of the roads are there, again ruling speed, correct or not? Here ruling speed is the plain road, understand or not? What could be the speed on the national highway in that line? But the ruling speed means where on the national highway, very important, national highway 2-lane 2-way traffic or 4-lane 4-way traffic, whatever that, 4-lane 4-way traffic, whatever that, I don't know, or it is 6-way traffic, 6-way both traffic, 2-way traffic, understand or not? Then he is asking what is the speed, the ruling design speed on a national highway in a plain terrain, road is very straight, where no undulation, nothing, as per the IRC recommendation, understand or not? He has given 4 speeds, 60 km per hour, 80 km per hour, 100 km per hour, 120 km per hour. I am telling you as per the IRC, answer is C, 100 km per hour. 100 km per hour is the ruling speed on a national highway in a plain terrain. Ruling speed, the ruling design speed on a national highway in a plain terrain as per the IRC recommendation is 100 km per hour. 100 kilometer is the ruling design speed. It is the ruling design speed on a national highway in a plain terrain as per the IRC recommendation. Coming next, I think next one, the terrain may be classified as rolling terrain if the cross slope is there. There I told you again, there are 4 slopes are there. Okay, again starting with the rolling terrain, mountainous terrain, all the different terrains are there. Now my boy is asking the the terrain may be classified. The terrain may be classified as a rolling, correct or not? Rolling terrain if the cross slope is how much? The cross slope is, again there are 4 answers, up to 10%, between 10 to 25%, between 25 to 60% or more than 60%. The right answer is B, between 10 to 25% is a terrain, that is the cross slope. Between 10 to 25% is a cross slope given to that particular terrain which is known as a rolling terrain. Rolling terrain cross slope is, I repeat in the question, rolling terrain cross slope is between 10 to 25%. This is the answer. I don't know. Answer B is the answer. That is what are things. Okay. Coming next. Sir, stop ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. Sir, stop ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಇದೊಂದು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಡ್ಲೇನ್ರಿ, ಇದೊಂದು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, 20 ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ಇದೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಪರ್ ದ ಇದು 20 ಮಾಡಿ my boys, again the next question, I will stop it after this question and again I will come out with other particular questions in the next video and all, because minimum time sir has told me to fix up the timing of a particular video. That is why I am there are about 130 questions are there in this particular category, transport engineering. So with this last question I am going to wind up this transportation, and again the next session from 21 to 120, from 21 question to 120 questions or 130 questions I am going to do in the other particular. So last question, what is that question? As per the IRC recommendation, as per the Indian Road Congress recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation for mixed traffic, in a plain road, correct or not? What is the super elevation? I think I have to tell you about the super elevation. Super elevation along the roadside, of course, the rising of the outer edge of the pavement with respect to the inner edge, or the rising of the outer edge of the pavement with respect to inner edge is known as this elevation, or the rising of the outer edge with respect to the inner edge is known as a super elevation. Understand or not? Super elevation is that thing, correct or not? This super elevation, why this rising of the outer edge with respect to the inner edge, or rising of the outer edge with respect to the center line, whatever that, it is being provided to compensate or to counteract the centrifugal force, correct or not? To counteract the centrifugal force by rising of this outer edge with respect to center or with respect to the inner edge, it is going to, you are going to provide what? You are going to introduce centripetal force. This centripetal force which is being provided for as a super elevation, which is going to counteract the centrifugal force. Now question now, as per the IRC recommendation, as per the Indian Road Congress recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation limit, correct or not? What is the rising of this outer edge to inner or outer edge to the center line? As per the IRC recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation for mixed traffic, our all Indian roads are mixed traffic condition, as per IRC recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation for mixed traffic in plain terrain, is how much? There are 4 options are there, my boys. Answer A is 1 in 15, answer B is 1 in 12.5, answer C is 1 in 10, and the last answer D is equal to camber. My boys, the answer is A, 1 in 15. Understand or not? 1 in 15. So I am going to tell you the standard super elevation is 7%, or 0.07, correct or not? The super elevation, maximum available super elevation which is being provided for the mixed traffic condition is 7%, or 0.07. Now the answer is that 1 in 115 is the right answer. So that 1 in 115 comes out to be 7%. My boys, you can look at it. As per the IRC recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation is for mixed traffic condition in plain terrain is 1 in 15. It is not on 1 in 15, and again 4 answers, other 1 in 12.5, 1 in 10 equal to camber are wrong. the right answer is A, 1 in 15. 1 in 15 is a maximum limit of super elevation for mixed traffic condition in plain terrain as per the Indian Road Congress recommendations. My boys, with this I am going to stop for this thing, and remaining questions with answers, with the comprehensive concept, with the detailed concept of the subject, I am going to do in the next video. So, once again thank you. I think if any queries are there, my boys, again if you got any queries in transport engineering, surveying, all your topic subject which are being mentioned in your syllabus for JEE and AE, whatever that, you ask me. My question is already there. My phone number is already there. You can pose any question. You can ask any number of question, any doubt, anything in the transportation engineering, surveying, environmental engineering, construction management, all these particular subjects, all subjects I am telling you. I know almost all the subject, very expertise in almost all subject. You feel free to pose any type of a question. It may be from transport engineering, it may be from highway engineering, it may be from surveying, it may be from construction management, or it may be from any other particular subject mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, thank you very much. Sir, Bartiri.